Alright guys, lots happening. Let's just hop right into the charts. Everybody's talking about Ethereum, and let's just hop right into it. I think the best, I'm gonna pull up a different chart because this one has obviously got a lot going on. And I want to redraw this Fibonacci fan. And then these right here are called Fibonacci retracement clusters. They were super helpful this morning, but I'm just going to take all of them off, redraw all the new time highs. We gotta go quick. There's a lot going on. I told you guys yesterday, I said be patient. Opportunities will come up. Guess what? It's only been a day. Opportunities have already came up. Alright, let's see. This is probably, yeah, right here. I'll talk about Crypto Love saying that Cardano's what did he say? He said it's not an oscillator, it's a, I forget what the other word is. That was ridiculous. We'll talk about that later. I'm trying to FUD the price, but right now we're gonna work on ETH. Let's see what we got. We got this wick right here, 0.618 level. Price is dropping. I saw it hit a moving average and then bounce off of that moving average. But it looks like it's continuing to drop. So where do we have? Okay, yeah. Then this is really, if you go from this right here, if you take this low and you take this high right here, we almost have it perfectly hitting the 0.618 level. It looks like it found resistance right here, potentially moved down lower, and the price is just dropping right now. And it looks like it's going to potentially hit this area, which would potentially be an opportunity right here in this golden pocket area. I mean, I would be on low leverage, especially until we even consider seeing a reversal out of this. But, you know, you talk about, you know, the price coming down and getting an opportunity. It looks like this is going to be one of the first opportunities. Major opportunities if we get it. That's what we're looking at right now live. And then what you would do is you would take this fib area right here and you'd bring it down right here. Yeah, perfect. And then if we got this level right here, let's take out that pink line. If we got this level right here, this would be absolutely monumental. Alright, so I'm going to draw some lines to save that spot, and then we're going to be going over all the different fibs. Fib fan, fib circle, fib spiral. Okay, so you got this area right here. And then we are looking at this area right here. And it's going to be right there. I'm going to draw this a little bit smaller. But this is absolutely huge. This is what everybody needs to know in the market, so. Let's see right here. Perfect. And then let's go just in case, we'll put it one right here. Because this would be absolutely massive if we were to get this. But it's just been so bullish. Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be a perfect area right there. Around 1587. Probably not going to get it, but gorgeous. Alright, now we can delete the Fibonacci retracement. Let me see if the connection's good. Why is Cardano so good? Can you please explain to me? Yeah, so Cardano's freaking incredible. I don't care what Crypto Love says. Like, listen to BitBoy. He obviously has way more subscribers than, but we're not going off of something like that. So, the main problem with Ethereum, which is the second biggest cryptocurrency in the entire space, is its extremely high gas fees. So, whenever you want to conduct a transaction on a network to power it, to incentivize the network to run whatever protocol or operation that you're trying to run successfully, like to incentivize it to fulfill those orders, you have to incentivize it with Ethereum tokens or Cardano tokens or whatever the applicate or whatever the decentralized platform is to incentivize, like to monetary incentivize the network to run optimally. So like let's say you want to use Uniswap, which is an application on Ethereum, an ERC20 token. You would have to pay massive amounts of Ethereum tokens, which obviously with Ethereum being extremely high priced right now, it's going to cost a lot of money, and it's not going to be optimal as far as it's going to make less sense to run the actual protocol, like when you factor in the ROI. So let's use a different example, because I've already talked about Uniswap plenty of times on this channel. Let's say something like Ocean Protocol, which is another ERC20 token that runs on the Ethereum network. Well, what Ocean Protocol does is it's an AI technology that's used to figure out the potential of different. What do they use it for? It's for marketing. They use it to figure out the information on different customers for something like Amazon. They want to see, okay, well, how many people are buying like this item? How many people are selling this item? They gather a bunch of information, data. It's a database collector using smart technology like AI, and you pay for it using the Ocean Protocol tokens. But if it takes a massive amount of Ethereum to run it, it becomes less and less like incentivized. It becomes more and more costly to try and like optimize the network, because it's like you're paying this amount for the research, but if you're a company buying that data, if it's not worth the ROI, because basically the network's too congested, it's costing too much money to get that information compared to the ROI you would get from having that information, if that makes sense. Now, Cardano has extremely low gas fees, on top of the fact that it uses JavaScript and is just underappraised at current market value, and that's kind of what you're seeing a lot on the charts. I was going off yesterday. I'm glad that video didn't get posted, because, well, it doesn't really matter, but I was heated because Crypto Love's flooding the price. I know Crypto Love has some Cardano tokens, and what he was saying. So I told you guys to get in right here. Look at where it is. I drew this last night. I think we're up 30 something percent since I told you about that. Broke right through. This would be another great entry point. Looks like we hit this resistance perfectly. I mean, we're calling the price, and like, but if you want to know the actual fundamentals behind the token, it's like this. You have Cardano, and Cardano, like, besides the JavaScript application, because essentially what Cardano does is it gives. So when you're creating blockchain technology, you use all these different you use the coding software for the blockchain to code your applications, because basically what Cardano is, it's a platform used to code technology, like for blockchain applications. So it's the baseline application for like coding different like whatever you want to make. If you want to make something with blockchain technology, Cardano or Ethereum give you the ability to code that. It's like like JavaScript, but Cardano has JavaScript, so people that aren't used to coding on blockchain tech, instead of having to learn an entirely new forget what it's called, like coding, whatever, I forget what it's called. they can just use what they already know. So it gives a larger developer base. On top of that, the same reason everybody's kind of bullish on Polkadot and Cardano is because there's a lot. Cardano and Polkadot have one of the biggest developer bases, so they're getting a lot done on the application. Kind of going back to the critiques of Crypto Love, he was saying it was a de-oscillator instead of an oscillator. And if you look at, like, you can make that statement and it's a correct statement, but without looking at the context, it's just completely inappropriate. Back in 2018, Cardano was a white paper, and a lot of the price action was huge speculation. At this point, with an educated opinion, you have Shelly, which is stage 2 of Cardano, which ran optimally, which was staking, works perfect. I've used it on their network. Everybody knows it works perfect. They're on Goguen stage 2, which is programmable logic or smart contracts, and everything is going perfectly. So to say that Cardano is a de-oscillator, it's just inappropriate and taken completely out of context. And with Crypto Love, he has like 150 something subscribers. He knows that. It was just completely inappropriate for him to make a comment like that, fighting the price on purpose. So I talked about it a little bit last night, but the price action's incredible, and we've been preaching it since, I don't even know, but I'm so upset like how well it's doing, because I want to get more of these tokens, but it doesn't look like I was trying to get in right here, but I think we got some touch points in right here, and obviously the price is incredible. But hopefully that answers your question to begin with. A lot of it, like the main problem with Ethereum is the scalability. It's all right, but their main problem is their gas fees that could be fixed, but that's all speculation. And Ethereum 2.0, that's Ethereum staking. Cardano has staking too. Basically, Cardano is a generation 3 cryptocurrency, whereas Ethereum's generation 2. But then you have the paradox where we're looking at, I'm more concerned right now with Ethereum, because it looks like we're going to have a lot of these bigger investors, they prefer something like this, and it looks like it hit our first target, which is nice. And on these targets, I basically recommend just like cost-based averaging in, not financial advice, but like cost-based averaging in on low leverage, or just potentially buying in clusters at these levels. These are going to be one of the best indicators right here. These are all Fibonacci levels based off of different swing high and swing lows that a lot of different people are going to be looking at. You see it perfectly bounced off our first target. Gorgeous. So, I'll talk about Cardano. Really, we're focused on Ethereum right now, but just because that's what you guys need to know right now. But if you want me to, if you have any more questions about Cardano, or if I didn't clarify something, just let me know. But also, you don't even have to listen to me talk about Cardano. Who was it? BitBoy had on Charles Hopkinson. When was it? I think yesterday. And he was talking about different things. So he's the CEO of the company, and what he said is, listen, obviously the main reason why Ethereum is so good is because Ethereum has a huge network. It has a huge community with a bunch of decentralized applications built on top of it. And a lot of those applications would like to also be multiple chain. So they would like to participate with other platforms like Cardano. So I don't remember the exact numbers he was giving, but basically what he was saying is that yes, Ethereum has a huge evaluation. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it has a huge ecosystem, and a lot of that ecosystem is going to go over to, like, a lot of them want to go over to Cardano. So that's massive. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't really know exactly what you were looking for, but hopefully that at least helps. I'm planning to buy some Cardano when I get some money. So, in your shoes, I would be sad if I didn't have any Cardano. But right now, like at these prices, I would rather accumulate Ethereum and then potentially put my Ethereum bag into Cardano, which has been the plan on this channel for a very long time. It's just the paradox. Obviously, Ethereum is, pumping like crazy right now, and it's planning on going to like at least 2,000 is the measured move we have on it right now. Let's see. We can use time-based fib zones on this level right here. Perfect. I'm kind of zooming out on more of the macro charts so that we get a very good indication of these different fib levels. Okay, that's a good plan too. Also, like I already have a bag of Cardano. Like I was accumulating heavy at 10 cents just because back then, like it was just a screaming deal. Like just like like I said, it's like, well, what if you would have got into Cardano, like in 2017 or 2016, or well, it was created in 2018, like the white paper and everything. It's like with Cardano, it's like a lot of it was speculation, and then around that 10 cents area, it was just a no-brainer, kind of like Bitcoin. I had Bitcoin when it was $3,000. I had Bitcoin when it was $100. I heard about it like I think my freshman year in college. It was just so speculative back then. Right now it's not speculative, it's a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer back at 10 cents, but so we do hold a little bit of it. We want to hold more of it. We just are waiting for that opportunity to buy it. And one more question, please. Let's see. One more question. Please help to decide I am weight or loss on BTC. I'm shorting. Why are you shorting a decentralized, or why are you shorting an anti-inflationary asset? Not much and not on big leverage, but do I wait or take loss? Shit. Yeah, I want to I don't know who's telling you to short Bitcoin. Like that's not smart. In a bull market you really shouldn't be shorting Bitcoin. It's like everything about it, from fundamentals to market flow, it's not very smart. So I don't know whoever's telling you to short Bitcoin, I would not be listening to them. Unless it's Carl from the moon and he's just being weird. Let's see. Let's go to the 4 hour. But with Cardano, when Bitcoin starts pumping again, hopefully that's going to kill altcoin season, and it'll give us an opportunity to buy some Cardano. The other thing I'm doing is I'm converting, like I hold Compound, I hold a lot of these tokens. It looks bearish, it looks good. There's a lot of momentum going up, so there's a lot of momentum going up. So you have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. It looks like it's trending upwards. I don't know what time frame you're trading on. None. Tell me it's a mistake. Yeah, I would just, like I said, I'd be very, very conservative what you take. Like I'm trying to help you guys take some positions over in Ethereum. which could potentially be huge. You know, it's just like patience, patience. Let's see. So this is an uptrend right here. They're all uptrends. Let's see. And this looks like a, I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but this looks like support right here, resistance, resistance, and then it looks like it's got flip support. So right here, this resistance idea, or this support idea, wait, what is it? Okay, so this is, yeah, this is support. They're both support. So, I mean, it looks like it's going to go up. Just looking at it right here. I mean, it does have to negate this bearish idea right here, and it could get pulled back. So what I would do is I would pull up a Fibonacci retracement tool. Pull up this trend tool right here, and I would use, we'll just use what I would use. I would use a trend-based fib right here, then right here, and then right here. Then I would zoom in. Oh, it is looking decently bearish. It just depends. So I mean, if I was in this trade right here, essentially I would cut my losses right at 37,580, and then potentially if it continued lower or it made a close or something like that, then that's what I would be looking at. But you have to remember, in the short term, like, it's in an uptrend, so I mean, I would be cost base averaging it out as it heads lower. But yeah, if it breaks this fib level right here, it's most likely going to continue in this upwards trajectory. Let me make sure I drew that perfect. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good for a short right now, but just you're fighting the uptrend, which isn't necessarily in your favor. I definitely wouldn't say that this is a no-brainer trade. So, I mean, I would just be scalping it as it heads down lower, if it does. But, I mean, I would, like, if I was in this trade, I would just be like, all right, well, if it breaks, 37, 5, 68, right at this fib level right here. This is the golden pocket. If it breaks above it, below it, like if it breaks above it, I would close the trade if you're shorting. Just because, and then on scalping it on top of that, I would just be looking at areas like this, potentially like something maybe like this. I don't even know if it would go that low. So it looks like you're decent right now, but like I said, you're fighting the uptrend. So I would just, cost base average out, Alright. Hopefully that helps you. Open time. What? Do you have like a contract or something? Open time and expire date. I don't know. You took a contract on? I didn't even know you could take a contract on. What do they even call those? Puts and option calls? That sounds like an option call. I didn't know you could do an option call. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, let's go take a look at those ETH charts. But yeah, that's what I would be looking at right there. I would essentially set that as my stop loss. Once it hits that line, it's pretty much over for that trade, it looks like. And it looks like something very similar is happening on ETH. ETH, I don't know if I would. I was gonna say ETH maybe looks like a better short, if anything, and I would not recommend shorting ETH at all. But yeah, I mean they're both pretty similar. All right, so yeah, it hit that line perfectly. It looks good. Hopefully we can get this line. Hopefully we can get this line. Cost base average in. Low leverage. You guys know the drill. And then this right here seems to be a potential resistance area. This is the fib circle, so we're going to continue drawing more of that fib to get an idea of what's going on the higher time frames. Let's go to the daily. We're going to go to, so we got the time and the fib circle drawn out on some macro time frames. The reason I'm doing the macro time frames is because they're going to be the most valid, and I want you guys to see how cool this is, because everybody's like, oh well, price discovery, we don't really know, but that's not necessarily true. We do know. So right here, I'll readjust it, so like right here to, we're gonna do, let's see, let's take this out. Let's see. This is a fib spiral. Yeah. So we're gonna take this area right here. Nice. Let me just make sure I drew this perfectly. So what you're looking at right now is called a Fibonacci retracement spiral and a circle. And then I had fib lines, and I just, so you guys don't get confused, I drew. Let's see. Let me line this up perfect. Oh, well, that looks pretty perfect right there, yeah. And then let's go to closer time frame so we can redraw that a little bit better. But essentially how these work are they're Fibonacci, just like Fibonacci retracement, but they factor in like time and different. They factor in more things like than just like the, you know, on the y-axis of the time frame. So they can be more accurate. Nice. Looks nearly perfect. And then we're just going to move this one to right here. Move this one to right here. Perfect. And then these give us potential resistance areas, and this is on the macro time frame, so these are perfect. And you can kind of see how price interacts with these different levels. It's a very accurate indicator, or it's not an indicator, it's very accurate, whatever you'd call it. Jeez, it's lagging like crazy. Or maybe I'm just zoomed out all the way. Alright, what are we going to get next? Let's get the Fibonacci fan. And I'm getting these all drawn on the higher time frame so that we have a very good indication of the best areas. Like on the macro, like the more, like I was on the daily chart. On the daily chart, if you draw these, it's basically like the strongest indication. as opposed to drawing these circles on the, this is the spiral, fib circle, and then this is fib time frame. So these are like on the macro chart, so these are going to be very valid. Let's see. Okay, nice. Okay, so it's gonna be right here, and then to right there. All right, let's get that fib fan pulled up. Anyways, I'm using plus, yes, contracts. Yeah, I've never heard of like contracts on what is it called, on crypto. I don't like that kind of leverage. Just like I would rather go on, especially if you're trading. I would rather be on margin. I would rather be on isolated margin as opposed to a time frame, unless that time frame's macro. So, it obviously comes down to leveraging your capital, and I would rather leverage my capital, taking like maybe a 2 to 5x, and putting down my initial capital as collateral to back the loan, which would be isolated margin leverage, as opposed to a contract where it's on a time frame. Because who's to say that something doesn't happen in the market and then basically you're on that time. I mean, if it's on time, I would prefer the higher time. I wouldn't do like a day contract, I wouldn't do a week contract. I'd be leaning more towards a month. And I know that from, because I used to trade options like very successfully, but it was extremely stressful, so I don't do it anymore. The more time they give you, the more it's going to cost you, and like the less like margin essentially you have. And at that point, I would just take a loan out. I would just take a low, not financial advice, but it just makes more sense to take, something out at like, I don't know, like what kind of credit you have, but like between like a one. But taking a loan out to short Bitcoin, that's just ridiculous. What I would say is that, you got to study the markets. You got to know exactly what you're doing. Maybe buy, and go very, very low leverage on isolated margin to learn. But like at my experience level, I told my buddy the other day that I would back him up. He wanted to put 3 or 4 thousand into the market, and I said, "Listen, man, I make 3 or 4 thousand in a day, like easily." So I said I'd back him up on that $3 or 4 thousand trade. So I was essentially like loaning him 3 or 4 thousand. But I feel confident in that because that was, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. Because I knew Ethereum's really good and he would have been up a massive amount, but he just didn't want to take it. I said, I'm so confident in Ethereum, like that 3 or 4 thousand you put in, if it goes south, like I'll literally back it up. I'll back up your entire investment. And he's like, let's see. I'm planning to change to on the Binance app. If you're a United States citizen, you use Binance US. I just got kicked off of Binance, and then Binance is pretty good. Um, just stay away from those 10x leverage pools, at least until you get a better understanding. All right, let's get the fan going. Where is it? Why am I having a hard time finding the fan? Oh, it's right. No, that's not it. Right here. One. Perfect. Alright, we'll just zoom in on the lower time frames and fix it if it's not like 100% perfect. Oh, it's got the... No, we don't want that. Is this the crap? Yeah, we don't want that. That's not the right tool. Is it? Is that the only fan? The heck? Maybe that is. I don't remember there being squares in it though. Yeah, that's what I would recommend for sure. That's what I recommend for sure. Or like potentially like you don't even have to go on leverage, you can just buy and then like tell yourself that you're longing it, something like that. I'll adjust it more in there. And then we want to do the fib wedge. I think it was the fib wedge that I was thinking about. I love this one so much. Let's see. The fib wedge is gorgeous. Let's see. Yeah, that should be good. And I'm doing this all on the daily. Once we zoom back in, it'll look a lot cleaner. And then the last one is the Fibonacci arc. And because people say, oh, you can't really get any information on these higher time frames because there's no support and resistance. I think we got plenty of different areas that we'll be looking at right now. €100 is a lot. For me, you know, it like with finances, you know, it's all comes down to it's all relative, you know. That looks perfect. Let's take a look at this right here. Perfect. Alright, we should be good at that point. I don't know if I have to readjust anything. Perfect. So it doesn't look like it's interacting with any of like the major fib levels right here. It looks like, you know, again, our best friend is going to be this fib tool. We hit it, perfect. if you're just tuning in, I basically did a bunch of Fibonacci retracement levels at different major intersections, and then I put these pink lines to show you the golden pocket for each one of those. And so this was one, hit it perfect. We're looking for two, might not happen. Looking for three, might not happen. Probably not going to happen. This is like wishful thinking. And then essentially we have all these different lines basically for different fib levels as we go up. So this is like the retracement. You know, it could bounce to this level, could bounce down to this level. These are potential resistance areas on the most macro time of this entire pump. So these are just like the key levels when we zoom out to be looking at. And I would rather give you guys more information than less information. So let's see. I want to hit this inverse on the wedge. I think that's going to be more accurate. This just looks absolutely gorgeous though. So I think this is going to be a lot more helpful in the longer term. Like as the price starts to go parabolic, we could potentially see issues at these levels. But it just gives you more of a long-term perspective, like a long-term outlook. I wish one day to leave from trading. Leave equals live. I don't know. I mean, I could leave from trading, but I like trading. I think it's fun. Let's see. What are we looking for? Oh yeah, fib wedge. It's really fun when you're like really good at it, because then once everything starts making sense, you're like, oh my gosh, it hit. Like we just hit my Fibonacci retracement area perfectly. And to me, that was a lot of fun. Perfect. Uh, it's fun, it's stressful sometimes, especially when you're on high leverage. But if you're really good at it and you got a lot of capital, you can go literally just low leverage and easily make money, and it's like ridiculous how easy it is. So that draws that perfectly. So that was swing low to swing high. Okay. So again, like I would rather just give you guys like all the information like with these different levels. So if something doesn't make sense, just ask about it. But essentially what we're looking at is, I mean, we're looking at a lot of stuff, but right in the immediate short term, we hit this area perfectly, could hit this area, could hit this area, pull back to. That would be a dream if we hit this area. And then we could potentially have a double top, which I doubt would play out, just like I doubted the head and shoulders would play out, and it didn't. But just because it's so bullish, let me make sure you guys are looking at the. This is Ethereum on the 1 hour, and then these are macro resistance on the fibs. And then let's see what else we can pull out. EMA cross. Nope, not on the 1 hour. Chimochi. Everything's going to be moving averages, all obviously going to be below the price action. Super trend's probably a buy. Yeah, it's a buy. Market cipher. Support and resistance. Nice. I don't really want to look at that on the 1 hour. We'll go back up to the 4 hour. VPVR support's going to be pretty much useless. But if we start to downtrend, I guess I'll keep it on in case we do start to downtrend down. Bollinger Bands, these are probably relatively important. Alright, that's fine. And then let's go to at least the 4 hour, work our way out, up. Just to better understand what you're doing. Looking at all this looks like reading Chinese. So, these are all just different fib levels. They're extremely easy to draw and they're extremely accurate. So, basically for all these different fib levels, so you go to, where is it? Is it hiding right here? Yeah. So this right here is Fibonacci retracement. Essentially you draw a swing high to swing low. It's more of an art than a science, but as far as like what you're trying to do, but always go higher time frames. Like when in doubt, like if you're trying to find like a significant price action, go from the beginning of the movement to the end of the movement. Make sure you're doing the wicks. That's Fibonacci retracement on the higher time frames, and it's a good to figure out where the price action is potentially going to retrace to. Fibonacci extensions, a good tool. You can basically use the Fibonacci tool. This isn't necessarily, it just depends on your application, on what you're trying to do. But this is specifically is for either trying to find, where it's going to potentially bottom using fibs, or what the projected fib levels would be as you move higher up. How's the price action going to interact, after it basically retraces and it moves higher. Fibonacci speed resistance band. Essentially what this is the faster the price moves up, the more potential there is for like resistance, and there's different levels to it. So we drew that, and it basically factors in the same as the Fibonacci, but it uses time as a metric in the probability of hitting different levels at different times. Fib time zone is used a lot in Elliott wave patterns, where essentially you move from the start of your Elliott wave pattern to the end of it. So essentially that's an impulse wave. So an impulse wave would be like the start of your move up, one dot, the end of your move, another dot, and then that will print you out a time zone. And then basically the price action usually switches up. If it's going up and then it hits that time zone, usually it'll correct. Or if it's going down and it hits that time zone, usually it'll go up. Fibonacci circles just measure swing low to swing high. Again, it takes time into accountability. This is more so Fibonacci spiral, more so just takes all of the Fibonacci like metrics and is like the circle, but it's the actual spiral of Fibonacci. And then Fibonacci resistance arcs, these basically act as resistance and support, very similar to fib circles. These can be drawn a little bit different. And then Fibonacci wedge, very similar to the speed fan. Swing low to swing high to draw them. And then basically you get all these different, I already did all of these, so you get all these different movements. Right here is basically just like where I'm drawing them, so you don't have to take this into an account. That's the price action. All right. So yeah, these are not significant whatsoever, these gray lines, but let's see. Price action looks really good. Look at that. We called that perfectly. We literally called that perfectly. And it's like, it's not even me. It's just literally Fibonacci. And all of this is Fibonacci, so let's see what. Oh, so we want to go to the higher time frames. Let's go to 4 hour. So the 1 hour looks pretty good. We can already see that. The problem is we're potentially getting some divergences on the higher time frames, and you can kind of see that with you have this right here, which is looking good, but then right here it looks like we're starting to diverge. The price action starting to diverge. So as soon as we break above this level right here on this oscillator, right about 75, right about 76, that's going to be huge, because then that basically negates a lot of the bearish divergence. Let's see, let's look at the oscillator. Let's draw it out. So you would take this trend line tool, and you'd go from right here to right here. Okay, and we'll make this perfect. Jeez. There, it's good enough. And then this one right here. And then what you do is you line it up from your first start point, and you line it up using these crosshair graphs, and you line up, where is it? It would be right here. And then you take that price action and you move it to the top of your other one right here. And yeah, essentially we're like losing momentum. We have a clear divergence. So like a divergence would be this price action is moving different from this price action, or this price action is moving different from this oscillator. So we have some divergence. So essentially to negate that idea, we want to move the price up higher, quicker, to negate that idea. We want to keep the more we consolidate, the more we potentially head down, you know, the more this RSI is going to cool off, which is not good for our bullish continuation. Alright, let's see what else we're looking at. So I mean, you can see that clearly on Market Cipher. You can also clearly see it on the charts right here. Let's go to the 6 hour. 6 hour, we're seeing something very similar. It looks like the RSI wants to cool off. It's just ever so slightly overbought. $12 hour. 12 hour is not looking bad. A little less money momentum, which is, something that we want to see the money momentum pick up. It looks like it's been downtrending ever since this level right here. 12 hour doesn't look bad. Well, let me see. Let's zoom in a little bit more. It's about even. 12 hours fine. Yeah, so basically, we just want to consolidate, break those higher. We want to break those divergences, and then we'll keep an eye on the Fibonacci retracement areas, and then we got those fibs drawn up as potential resistance areas. Let's take one more look at the chart. On the hourly, see if there's any formations. On the hourly, it doesn't look like I see anything. Maybe if we zoom out. And then again, this is looking pretty decent. Again, this isn't like a resistance trend line at all. Plus, it would have broken through it, but it's not. I mean, you have a few things essentially. But maybe like a double bottom or a double top, I mean. But like I said, that's most likely not going to play out. It's just looking good. I mean, you have this high right here, and then you have this higher high. So yeah, it looks good. No real patterns to talk about. But potentially you have this bottom right here, and then this bottom right here, with this being the neckline, and then this essentially being the measured move. And then it looks like we're just consolidating right now, waiting for that next big move up. Let's go to a cleaner chart. So that was let's go to Coinbase. Nice. So yeah, and then obviously, like, well, why we pulled out the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands are obviously overextended right here. Comes down, finds support on it, but potentially, like you see right here, kind of like a fractal idea. And this is just like fractal all throughout trading. It's gonna be like, it's gonna ride this Bollinger Band up. So this would be another resistance area that you can always pull up, is just a Bollinger Band. It's always gonna ride these bands. It looks like we just got rejected off this band on the 1 hour. Consolidates. A little bit of indecision right here. Doji candle. Big move down. Big move up. Consolidation essentially. Trending downwards on volume, basically confirming that. And that also, when you have a downtrending on volume and the price is, trying to go down, that also just shows that there's not as much buying, selling pressure, which we talked about a lot in the beginning. Again, there's not going to be a lot of VPR support as we move up into these higher levels, if any. Let's see what else we got. It's on the 1 hour. I think let's take a look at our. Is this not the one where we drew the? Maybe it was Kraken. No. Kraken, Coinbase, Bybit. Let's take a look at BTC, USD. Market cipher on the 1 hour saying BTC not looking too good. Let's see. Got a little bit of a downtrend. And then this looks like a definite support area right here. Potentially to bounce off of, move higher. Bounce off of here, potentially consolidate, move higher. Volume's not looking too good. It's pretty much looking... Let's take this off. Yeah, I mean, it just probably is going to consolidate more than anything. It looks like it got rejected off the Bollinger Bands again. Just consolidating. It doesn't look like there's any clear support flipped resistance ideas on the 1 hour that I can see. Maybe right here, but you have this one right here, this one right here, this one right here. More so than anything, it just looks like healthy consolidation. And then this is technically a higher high. This was from a little bit ago. So essentially what I would want to see, horizontal line. Alright, I would want to see it break this level. I'll be right back. Everything looks good. I mean, the candlestick bodies are higher, but this wick right here is essentially what we're going to want to break to get that bullish momentum. Let's see. This looks like pretty valid trend right here. I don't know if we'll go back to that level, but we could find support there if that is the case. Let's go back to the other BTC. So BTC, Look how perfectly we called that. Hit. We hit it. Or just about. Alright. Let's take a look at BTC.D. It looks like it's consolidating. BTC.D. That's so funny how Market Cipher puts market manipulation. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh nice, we hit it. Altcoin season is just about to murk. So I told you guys, like right here, I drew a line. You can look at my other videos, and I was basically like, if this line breaks, altcoin season's definitely going to be huge, and then we have this huge consolidation. As soon as we break that move right here, it 100% validates this huge downtrend, because essentially this was the low, and then as soon as we broke that line, it would have set a lower low. So I had a trend line just like this. It broke it, and we literally called alt season multiple times on this channel. So even if you like altcoins, you have to be sub to this channel, so you know when to take profits and whatever. So looks like we broke this one too, which is just bullish as heck, or bearish as heck on. Did we break it? Is it perfectly broken? It looks like it's going to break it. We'll see what happens. Boom. That's just the next level we're looking for, but it's looking like it's definitely going to hit that. So yeah. And then potentially, like if we were to come up to this level around here, I'll draw it out. Something like this could possibly make it the inverse head and shoulders as a reversal idea, possibly. If we were to come up and hit that area potentially. And we'll hit this area right here, which looks like it would be, yeah, perfect. Yeah, those are the main areas that we're looking at. And then check this out. So we go to here, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, you use so many different Fibonacci's. Check this one out. So the start of it's probably like right here. Probably to, or right here. Let's get this touch points on. Or actually, let's get the more macro time frame. That's a better idea on this whole pattern. So yeah, perfect. So there's two ways to do this. The first way would be to line up the touch points, and then the second way would be to outline the most like macro outlier. Let's see this. Perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. I just gotta flip it. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I did. I was like, it's gotta be flipped. But it's perfect. And right here. Right here. Can we line it up with the touch points? Let's see what we got. One. It's just so perfect how it lines up. Oh, it breaks out, breaks back in. As soon as we break this level, oh, massive, comes down, consolidates. Like, these levels are legit. Consolidates right in that level, breaks through that level, comes up, hits this level, tops out. Gorgeous. Yeah, it looks pretty perfect. So that's a Fibonacci channel downtrend. And then potentially we could hit this level, test it, and then come down like I think we saw once or twice right here. Looks good. Alright, I think we are done for right now. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum, see how she's doing. Ethy. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same. We got that area we bounced off of perfectly. We're consolidating. That's not going to be good for these divergences that we were talking about earlier. We gotta pump higher, or it could potentially go down. The only thing keeping it up right now is everybody's so bullish on it. Okay. No more on working. Loss. Yeah, for ETH, it just looks like, you want to get into a position of power, like longing it. So like I said, cost-based averaging out into these are different golden pocket areas that we drew on Fibonacci retracement. Looks like it hit this one perfectly, and we went all the way up for a little bit. And like, don't be surprised if it doesn't come down and hit this one, and then potentially hit this one just because of the bearish RSI. That's why we are low leverage right now, and that's why we are cost-based averaging into a position. And then once it looks really good, once this momentum wave catches, once our RSI is cooled off and or um, is not forming divergences, that's going to be huge. So yeah, those are just ideas to look on ETH. I'll keep you guys updated. If you're not sub to the channel, sub to the channel. I got you guys update on everything. So um, just sub to the channel and make sure you turn on post notifications because I'm always streaming live, so you don't want to miss that.